Hi, this is Mary Beth with Wasatch Community Gardens, here to talk about planting your spring seedlings like tomatoes and peppers. Our most common question at this time of year is, can I plant my tomatoes now or is it too soon? And what I recommend is looking at the 7 to 10 day forecast and looking for those nighttime low temperatures. And I recommend not planting them if the temperature drops below 55 degrees at any point in the 7 to 10 day forecast. Unfortunately for us that this year, that is the case. And late next week, it's going to be in the low 40s in the evening. That is not favorable conditions for our tropical plants, our tomatoes, and our peppers that like to be above 55, or if you're a pepper, 65. So imagine being a little baby pepper at the beginning of your life, having to sleep outside in the ground when it's 20 degrees lower than what is favorable for you. What happens with these plants if they're exposed to those temperatures is that they'll release a hormone that can result in permanent stunting and decreased productivity of their fruit over the whole season. And nobody wants that, right? We're going to invest 6 months of our lives in these plants and we want to give them the best possible start. So we've got a few options for you. The first option for the gardeners with really itchy fingers or the inability to keep bringing them outside and bringing them inside to sleep at night and bringing them back outside is to go ahead and plant them, recognizing that it's not ideal, but try to create more comfortable conditions for them by using some of these frost protection. And again, it's not that we're trying to protect them from frost, which will actually kill them, but we're trying to keep them warmer, at least 55 degrees. So there are these little like wax paper type products called hot caps. If I were a pepper, I would not want to sleep outside in 43 degrees just underneath a hot cap. This would make me very irritable and I would probably be stunted and I would resent having been planted. So this is probably not super protective in terms of the number of degrees of protection that it offers, but it is one option. Another option that we have is frost fabric. And this is available at all the box stores and the garden centers. This is a medium weight product that weighs about 1.5 ounces per square yard. It's just a white polyspun fabric. And certainly gardeners for eons have been using other products like blankets or tarps or plastic bags or whatever you may have available, and that's fine. We all just do the best we can and innovate as we go along. However, this particular product is guaranteed to offer 6 to 8 degrees of protection. So for example, if it's going to be 43 degrees, this will make the plant feel like it's in 49 degrees. It'll give that bump up of 6 to 8 degrees. Maybe it'll even feel 51 under there, but 51 still isn't 55. So we're still a little short of where we want to be, but we may find ourselves in that position where we're going to have to plant them outside and offer protection. And a third option is this contraption, which is a plastic device that is constructed of these individual cylinders, and we'll put this on the ground, maybe around a bucket, and we'll fill each cylinder with the hose, with the water, and it creates like a little greenhouse for each plant. So it keeps the soil nice and warm down below, and it keeps the environment much more favorable for the plants. I have often grown in walls of water, and then at the end of May, we get that inevitable, 6-inch spring crazy snowstorm. So before the snowstorm, I'll actually go out and cover my walls of water with my frost fabric. So like double duty, doing my best to apologize to my plants that they're outside in the snow. So if you need to go plant, I would strongly recommend, especially this year with our forecast, using one or more types of protection from the cold. However, if you have the ability to keep them inside at night and bring them outside during the day, then there are two more tips I want to share. The first one is that your plants, while they're in these little pots, whether you got them from the Wasatch Community Garden Spring Plant Sale Fundraiser or elsewhere in the community, chances are your plants came in these small pots. They're going to get really hungry in these pots. Imagine if you were this tomato and someone said, you have to wait 12 days in this pot before I'm going to put you in the ground where all the nutrients are for you to eat. You're going to start to get hungry, right? And you can see the difference in this leaf color. So this plant right here is starting to show significant signs of nutrient deficiency, specifically nitrogen, as opposed to this plant, which is so happy that we've been feeding it while it's in its little pot. And what we've been feeding it with is liquid fish. Yes, this is stinky. This is a product that is called liquid fish emulsion. And what you're going to do is open it and try not to smell it. And you're going to pour a little bit in your watering can and then fill it with water and stir it around. And this will provide a nice snack while your plant is waiting to be planted. So you can just give it the little snack. Now, this is not the entire meal that they'll get once they're planted in the ground. This is just a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of phosphorus to keep them going until they're planted. The second tip, if you have supplies available or you can purchase a good quality potting soil, which is basically a combination of peat moss, perlite, and compost, or you can mix your own from those three types of ingredients, you can actually spread it out on the table and pot up your seedlings. So basically take them from a little pot and put them in a bigger pot. During this process, you can give them more than a snack. You can actually work a whole meal into the potting mix. So here we have a product that is an organic fertilizer. It's got many, many different ingredients in it. And this one is 4-4-4. I have some uncooperative pots. 4 parts nitrogen, 4 phosphorus, and 4 potassium. And you can incorporate this at the label rate into your potting mix and get it all stirred up into your moistened potting mix. You want to pre-moisten this, not so much that you can squeeze out water, but so that it's nice and moist. And then you want to choose the right size pot. So for a tomato, which can be planted more deeply and it will actually form additional roots all along the stem, you can choose a pot that is significantly deeper. But you don't necessarily want one that is also significantly wider. This is not an efficient use of this pretty expensive material. And also the plant will just sort of feel adrift in this very large container. So you can use something like a yogurt container. You can see I've stored these up during the pandemic, or a simple half-gallon nursery pot. You can put a little bit of your fertilized potting mix in the bottom, pop out your plant. Look at this beautiful root system. This is not pot bound or root bound at all, but you can see these lovely roots developing. And then you're just going to stick him down in his new home, wish him well, add your pre-moistened fertilized potting mix all around, and he's already feeling better, that he's not in his little 2-inch pot anymore. And you're just going to not squish it down, but water him in and say, oh my gosh, aren't you happy now? Then this is the plant that will enjoy waiting another 14 days, if it takes that long, to get planted out into your garden. So I hope that you enjoyed watching these tips. As always, you can email me, marybeth@wasatchgardens.org, if you have questions, and happy growing.